I don't have to tell you that the comment sections on the internet, specifically YouTube, can be an abyss of negativity and just pure awfulness. I would say, on average, I answer about 10,000 comments a day, and of those 10,000, about 9,000 are really derogatory and just real home wreckers for me, and I'm talking about you Dusty Bottoms 23. But there are about 1,000 legitimate comments, and today we're going to be talking about our frequently asked questions. So, all jokes aside, we do get a lot of frequently asked questions that I would like to discuss. We get about 8 that are really common, so today we're going to talk about them. The first one, definitely the most common, is, will this void my warranty? We don't really have the authority to tell you whether a part will or will not void your warranty. We are not the dealer, we are not the factory, so we can't for certain say whether it will or won't. If you're concerned about a product, if it will void your warranty, even if it's a Ford Performance part or an SLP part, still call your local dealership to make sure. Some dealerships might be more willing to work with you, and some others might be really stingy and might void your warranty for anything. So to just be sure, call your local dealership and they'll be able to help you out. This next question is a very legitimate question, but it actually stirs up some controversy in the YouTube comments, and that's, if oil separators are so good, why don't they come on cars from the factory? Now, if you really think about it, if every car had an oil separator like what we install here at CJ Pony Parts, a big can that needs to be serviced every couple thousand miles for every oil change, that adds another thing to the vehicle that needs to be serviced. And for your average consumer, they're probably not going to want to mess with that. That will probably either scare them away from buying the car, because that's another thing they have to worry about, or they're just not going to service it at all because they either don't want to or they don't know how to. And if the can fills up because it gets neglected, the can will just become useless and it's like it doesn't even have one. So someone like you and me, we wouldn't have a problem with servicing a catch can, because if you're watching this video, you're obviously into cars, or you at least have the know-how to work on cars. So you and I won't have a problem with draining a catch can when it needs to, but the average person probably doesn't want to or doesn't know how to. Many vehicles do come with oil separators from the factory, like the Focus ST. It does have one, but it's very simple and basic, and it's tucked up out of the way. If every car had a system like what we've installed on our vehicles here, they are very big and bulky, and they can be an eyesore, which can hurt sales of the vehicle again. So not only can oil separators be an eyesore to some people, but it also adds another expense to a vehicle which some people might not be willing to pay for. So overall, the reason why they don't come on many vehicles is serviceability, an expense, and an eyesore, but you still should get one for your vehicle. One of my favorite vehicles here at CJ's is definitely our 2016 red F-150 EcoBoost. I absolutely love that thing, and we get asked all the time what lift or what suspension is on it, and the truck actually isn't lifted. What it has is a Roush suspension kit from Fox. The kit came with 2 front struts that lifted the front of the truck 2 inches, and it came with heavy-duty off-road shocks in the rear, so it's not technically lifted, it just has a 2-inch level, but it looks and rides awesome. And we do have a full install video of that kit if you're interested in watching that. Now here at CJ's, we've done an absolute ton of exhaust videos. Myself, I've installed a ton of exhausts on trucks and Jeeps, and we get asked all the time which exhaust sounds best. I'm not going to tell you which exhaust sounds best, because my opinion is different than yours and your opinion is different than everyone else's, so I'm not going to tell you which exhaust sounds best. I can help you with which one has certain features, but for which one sounds best, that is up to you, and you shouldn't get the exhaust for your vehicle that I think sounds the best. You should get the exhaust for your vehicle that you think sounds the best, and we have plenty of exhaust videos out there so you can decide on that, but I'm not going to tell you which sounds best because I could be wrong. It's totally up to you. Here's another very legitimate question that does raise some concerns with a lot of people, and that's, should I get a tune on my vehicle if I install an intake or an exhaust? Now, there are some car manufacturers out there that pretty much require a tune for anything that you do to your vehicle, but so far, as of now, here at CJ's, every intake and exhaust that we offer and have installed, you don't necessarily need a tune for it. You're not going to damage your vehicle by installing it, but a tune will certainly help you get the most out of that upgrade. Another question that brings us right back to the red F-150 EcoBoost, which we've done a ton of work to. We've installed upgraded turbos, exhaust, intakes, all that stuff, is how much power does that red F-150 make? Since we've done so much work to that red F-150, we actually took it to a shop and got it professionally dyno tuned, and it actually made a ton of power. To the wheels, it made 390 horsepower and 407 pound-feet of torque. Here's another very legitimate question that might be one of our most frequently asked questions, and that's why don't we show wiring? And we intentionally don't show you wiring for a couple of reasons. Say you're installing a set of LED cube lights somewhere on your vehicle. Say it's a Jeep. There's a ton of different ways you can run the wiring for that. There's more than just one answer on how to wire it up. And you might have a different switch panel than us. You could have a completely different switchboard or circuit, and how we install it in our vehicle, it's probably not gonna be the same for you. Like, we have the trail rocker system on our white Jeep. If we showed you how to wire it up to that, you probably don't have the same setup. So us showing you how to wire it up in ours probably won't help you. So because there's so many options, we just don't show wiring for that. The second main reason why we don't show wiring is pretty much the YouTube comments. We've learned that over time, pretty much no matter how we show how to do wiring, we're accused of being wrong. If we showed you how to use the wire taps that come in a lot of kits, people will comment and say that we did it wrong, we should have used butt connectors. So then if we showed wiring and used butt connectors, everyone would say we did it wrong and we should have soldered. If we soldered instead of using butt connectors, we would have been told that, well, our soldering job wasn't up to NASA spec. And if we soldered up to NASA spec, people would say that we went way overkill and that we probably should have just used butt connectors or something like that. So it's really, no matter how we do it, we're wrong. That's why we don't show wiring. Our last question that we're going to be talking about today is, do LEDs cause hyperflashing when you install them? LED bulbs, when installed in your turn signals, will cause hyperflashing. And many people get concerned when they see this hyperflashing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It can just be annoying because it's making such a loud and quick noise. To get rid of hyperflashing, if it's not something that you want, we do offer load resistors to get rid of it. So that's all the frequently asked questions that we have for today. Please keep these comments coming down below so we can have more questions to answer later. But please try to refrain from the comments where I get called a 35-year-old infant, because that kind of hurts my soul. So keep leaving those comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.